Hey, what's up? Let me put a couple of things up here. Hello. I hate to dance pop, but hear it. Yeah, see, dance pop don't be it. It's sad when feeding the ducks is the best one. Let me load this down just a little bit. I don't want to load down that much. Because sometimes I sound distant on here. I'm still learning the ins and outs of working with this. But anyway. Good morning, good night, good afternoon. Peace and blessings, peace and hair grease and all that other good stuff. We're just here. I'm just briefly popping in to talk about these little tidbits and goings on in the neighborhood. And first and foremost, let's talk about that. Now That's TV, South Central Baddies 4. I don't know if you really want to call it a reunion, but they tried to do something really funny, and it was. But part of it didn't work out because we had disgruntled employees in the mix. Rightfully so. So this is the deal from what I understand. And that's why I'm not playing any clips or anything like that, or putting any copyrighted information out on the stream with photos, tapes, because I'm not getting into who said what. This is allegedly. I ain't got time for all that. I just want to talk about it. But one of the reasons why some of the main big stars did not show up was a dispute over property, allegedly. Like I said, I heard so many types of stories about this stuff. I don't know what to believe, and it's just not my damn job to go through all that. Because still at the bitter end, we got to remember that this is a streaming service putting on a entertainment television show, as you will call it, and it is what it is. But some of the girls weren't happy. Some of the girls weren't happy. Some of the girls were happy. And so they did this whole court thing with certain Now That's TV girls, as you can say, people who have been on the network that are very popular, that have actually made the channel. They came in and had them do different roles and stuff like that, and did a little courtroom montage, having people swear on their soul, as we know, because we know it's Now That's TV, and that's on my soul. So it was very sweet. It was very funny. I think I really thought it was a genius idea. I really did. I just think the girls that were unhappy there had many reasons why they did not participate. But now I'm gonna call this out, and I love every single one of you guys on South Central Baddies, even the ones that you're not necessarily. I don't know that much about you, so I don't know your storyline or anything like that. But this is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying, girls. You're talking about you're not gonna be on Now That's TV, but then you're getting on lives and saying, hey, I'll do this show, I'll do that show if they do this, and this. But you done with the company, so I'm confused. Are we standing on business? Man, it's bad when we have to have this little boy who looked like a light-complected little troll tell us the most major line for 2024, which is standing on business. This little boy who think he gangster, who was raised by his grandmama with a golden spoon in his mouth, who want to be about that life, but it's not about that life, put out the most important quote to start off 2024, which is standing on business. So, but I thought it was great. I thought it was a good idea. I mean, it was a twist and a different thing from a regular reunion that would have normally been set up. I just thought it was great. I thought, especially Kenzie and Barbie, shout out to them. I will say you guys' name in this. Shout out to y'all. Y'all made that whole thing going on. It was just beautiful. I loved it. It was ghetto and ratchet as hell, but it was it. It was it. It had me cracking up from the beginning to the end. So I loved it. Oh, and then moving on to a couple of more things with Now That's TV. Now I heard they were really getting down at the reunion for The Young and the Reckless, but I mean, what did you expect? Did you watch the first few episodes of that show? I mean, so it wasn't all that all the time, all that stuff going on. You know, most of the fighting and stuff like that. They did have moments in there that were really cool, really wonderful to see. And I was talking to my dad today, and I was telling him that the way they're doing it, it reminds me kind of the Real World on MTV. So it's cool. And the one thing I can say about Now That's TV is that they have built a stable of really their own stars. Now you have to take out the factor of Big Lex, who was already on Zeus when it was coming up and went up to the top. But see, Now That's TV. I told y'all from way long time ago. If you look at my comments in some of the content creators' comment section, I said a long time ago that Now That's TV is sneaking up on Zeus Network, and now they done snuck up so much they done passed them. And who do they have that's from Zeus, right? I mean, mainly they had Big Lex. Let's keep it real. Because Lucky did her thing on there, but it did not catapult her to the popularity that you thought it would. But Big Lex, that's a different story. So they had her from Zeus Network that went over to Now That's TV. But primarily, everybody on all these Now That TV shows is due to their diligence to actually trying to cast a show. And really taking it seriously and being like, hey, if we're going to call this reality TV, let's get some real ass people and not these people who was on some reality show that really is still going, but they're not a part of it. They had minimal popularity, and now they need to keep booked and busy, and they on this show. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. All them broads over there on the Dr. Seuss network are trying to stay booked and busy because they didn't do nothing during the time they had that minimal popularity to expand and advance their brand to the point where they would have been staying booked and busy and they wouldn't be doing this stuff on Zeus Network. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it real. So, yeah, but that popped off too. I went on a whole nother tangent, but anyway, that was good too. Now, I heard complaints about the app for Now That's TV, but I haven't had any problems with it, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I also thought that they were supposed to be releasing the whole Playboy's audition for season 2. But that has not popped up yet. But when it does, I'll give a talk about it if it's worth it, if it's worth my time, if it's worth my time off. And then what else happened today? Donald Trump and the E. Jean Carroll case. The jury got the case, and in a couple of hours, they came back with a verdict for about $83.3 million. So now, don't be surprised while you're watching this YouTube app and you don't have premium, and you see ads, and you see all these ads for Donald Trump trying to sell you some stuff so he can raise that $83.3 million, because he needs that much to even file an appeal, and it must be in the bank. And then from what I understand, as the closing arguments were going down, he walked out the courtroom, and one of the attorneys, Alina Habba, she went on a tangent, started talking about this, that, and the third. And too many times in the trial already, the judge had to tell her to shut up and sit down somewhere, until finally today he said, if you want to keep popping them chops, we can put your ass in jail. And I'm just purely convinced that she's doing all these theatrics because she knows it's going to be money in the bank once they take her law license from her and sue her for everything she has. She's going to have a way to live, because being one of Donald Trump's side pieces ain't going to last that long. There ain't too much money in that. And now, just like I said, he's talking about he's going to appeal, but for him to appeal is going to cost $83.3 million. That's how much the state requires. Now, they say they're going to fight to get it reduced and waived, but you can't keep disrespecting folk. You can't. I mean, not to make it a race thing, but even white people dealing with other white people, to a certain extent, they're only going to take but so much. That's all I'm saying. So we'll see how that works out. And we're still waiting for a response from the circuit court, the higher court, in the Tanya Chutkan case that she's over for Donald Trump for interference in an election and causing a riot, because he filed an appeal to the higher court for full immunity, because he feels that presidents have full immunity. And so that's what's the question that's on their superior court right now. All the briefings have been done, all the arguments have been done at this point in time. And so we are just waiting on a decision. And my theory is on that is they are putting together the most airtight decision that cannot be appealed. That's what they are doing. They are in the process of putting together, so that way it is unappealable. Because the disaster that's happened in America, they do not, at least these judges don't want it to happen again. So they're going to put every safeguard that they possibly can in that written decision to say to the Supreme Court, which he would eventually go up to that too, because that would be the last stop on the tour of begging, that these are the reasons why you're not immune. I mean, be careful what you ask for, because you got to remember you are not in power as president right now. You can't talk about after the fact, when you're being charged as an American citizen for committing crimes, that you had immunity back then to do the crimes, when right now you're an American citizen. You're subject to all the laws of the land that we are, supposedly, but that's another whole ball of wax too. But therefore, but those are the biggest tidbits and stuff going on, and I just be listening out there in YouTube world with the content creators that I support, and of course they got mess going on, and I don't even understand that either, and I do have to work. This is not my sole piece of income. I try to post when I can, because I got a real job that I have to go to. I have family that I have to try to support along with myself and keeping myself sane and happy. So I can't be on here all the time like that. But if you want to support, all the information is up on the screen. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we talked about the little tidbits, just like I said. Personally, I thought that whole thing that Now STV did was it. It was funny. It was hilarious. I completely loved it. I'm just glad they are keeping it genuine, at least, because the Dr. Zeus network is not genuine. And we'll continue to keep an eye on all this political stuff, because as Black folks, we need to be keeping abreast of that stuff that's going on, because it's going to affect us even more. So, hey, I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Anyway, peace, love, and blessings. Peace and hair grease. I'm out. I'm gonna get off of here and try to rest, and I'm gonna talk to y'all folks later.